Yes, that was me with platinum hair. I've had blue tips, short silver hair, long silver hair, black and silver hair, and basically all I have to say is it took me years to figure out which products work best for my scalp health and for my hair health to get me from a time when I only had literally a few inches of hair, just enough to cover my tape-ins, to now hair that is down to my butt. So I'm here to share with you my current hair care and styling routine and basically everything I've learned the hard way. As you can see from the pictures, the first thing I did was stop getting my hair bleached, and I went through so many awkward phases. And yes, this took some patience. There was no way around it. I finally got my hair to a point where all the bleached part was cut out and I can completely restart. So here we are today. Hello. So I'm gonna wash my hair and then I'll be right back. This is what it looks like right now before I do anything to it. And just to prove that I have no hair extensions, I will show you. So all my hair. And no toupee either. Okay, now that I'm giving drowned rat, this is what I kind of have going on. I have half of it clipped up because the back section here will stay wet for a really long time. So I clip half of it up so the back can kind of get some air and air dry. This is actually how long my hair is. I'll show you in the mirror. Now that you could see that I have a beige shirt on here. Ta-da! So that's how long it is. And I'll show you some products that I use. I use the Nioxin 2 shampoo. I added a pump on it, makes it a lot easier. And then I use this scalp brush. I use the shampoo from my chin area and up, and the scalp brush I really use to work it in there and get like the dead skin and the oils off of my actual scalp so that it hopefully provides a more healthy environment to promote hair growth. And I just got the number 2. I used to have the number 4 because sometimes I have a keratin treatment in my hair, and the number 4 is for like colored or processed hair. Number 2 is just for natural untreated hair. But anyway, I'm finishing up the conditioner from the number 4, and I use this from, again, my chin area and up. And then for all my acne girlies, just really try to not get this on your face when you're putting it in your hair, just because I'm sure there's some ingredients in here that aren't good for acne. Next, this I don't super love. I actually like the one that's comes in a tub, that's the Kure, a lot better. This is the conditioner that I use, and then a refill. But I usually like to mix actually the mask and the conditioner and put it on my hair from my chin area and down. And then I'll clip that up in the shower, leave it while I do everything else. And then once I come out of the shower on my damp hair, this is the one that I use. It has a heat protection in it, and it's kind of like oily too. So I feel like it like locks in the moisture, and then it also adds the heat protection. So whether or not I'm air drying my hair or blow drying it, I always put this in because I'm not sure what I want to do with my hair yet, honestly. And it just helps, you know, preserve the ends a little bit. Okay, I'll come back when it's more dry. I'm literally gonna go to the store like this because I don't care. Hair health first. Okay, so my hair is dry all on the bottom now, so I let the top part down, and as you can see, it's tangly. I never ever brush my hair when it's wet. And I know you're probably wondering, okay, my hair is wavy, so is mine. What am I gonna do if I want, like, for example, like a blowout look or a heatless curl vibe? I'll show you what to do, but first things first, when it's this step, you'll put your part where you want it to be. And these parts are always just like frizzy and gonna be curly because the hair is so short. So what I do is I kind of comb through the top here just so it's not tangly, just with my fingers, very gently. And then I will just put these here so it holds these pieces down and you have a clean part. And then I'll let the rest of the hair air dry. Like that. You know what would be better though? Those flat clips, the clips that have like the flat part on the top. I've never ordered any, but I probably should. And now we've just basically let those shorter layers dry, and then I'll show you what I do to blow dry it. And I'll wait till it's about 90% dry so that it's still kind of like moldable, if you will. Okay, so now we're at this step where your hair is probably very frizzy, very fuzzy looking. Your part is getting crispier by the minute. And so I'm gonna play in real time kind of how I dry my hair from here. It's, as I said, mostly dry, but still at a point where I feel like I could smooth out the top a little bit more to get rid of some of the frizz. And if you're like me, just a tip, when you are air drying your hair and you don't like that feeling of wet hair on your back, wear like a crew neck or something, or just like a long sleeve shirt, something like that, just so that it's a little more tolerable. Oh my. Okay, at this point, if you do have any tangles, you just try to get them out with your fingers if you can. The number one thing I don't like to do again is just brush my hair when it's like damp or wet or in like a fragile state, because I feel like you're gonna mechanically damage your hair. So tying this part up with the clip, and the haircut that I asked for is like a U shape in the back, long layered haircut with some shorter pieces at the front. That's basically what I get, and I only get my haircut maybe like every, I don't know, maybe 6 months, if that. I don't even have a set schedule, if I'm honest, just whenever I feel like my ends are looking a little dry and crispy. Okay, now that I have it sectioned in two, like that, I will kind of go through with my fingers, just make sure there's no super big tangles so I don't have like difficulty once the blow dryer is actually on. And the kind of brush that I'm going to use to dry my hair is either one of two. If I do have a more special occasion and I don't mind putting just a little bit more heat on my hair, I'll use a round brush like that, like a thermal round brush like this. Or if you know, it's just for every day, I just want to look more put together, I'll use a wet brush like this that's vented for drying hair. And the black bristles are just a bit more flexible so that, oop, even if you do run into a knot, you're not like ripping your hair out. And I always brush my hair from the top, the bottom to the top, like that. And then I'll do the other side with the wet brush too. And like, if you do run into a spot where it doesn't want to go through nicely, just kind of like wiggle it. Don't just rip it down, you know? Be gentle. Okay. Alrighty, now, as you know, if you have wavy hair, your hair will be very frizzy and crazy looking when you brush through it. So, especially towards the ends, I use this. It's the Joico Ironclad Thermal Protection Spray, and it has a hold of 1. And so I'm just mostly gonna focus on the ends and the back. Again, I don't put products anywhere where it can accidentally be laid on when I'm sleeping, just because I'm an acne girly, so. Okay. And now we blow dry. Of course, if you want completely heatless hair, you can braid it at the point where it's 90% dry and just wear it as it is the next day. That's always an option that I go to more times than not. This is just kind of what I do if I do want to look a bit more polished, if I have a dinner meeting or something like that. If I am just going to work, LOL. I don't damage my hair for work, period. And speaking of work or active wear hairstyles or times when you just need your hair out of your face, opting for something like a claw clip or a braid or something that's more gentle and not going to pull on the root of your hair, especially, is going to be key for maintaining long hair and growing your hair out. If you wash your hair after you have your hair in a really tight slick back ponytail, you're going to notice that the hair actually has a follicle on it, and that basically means that you have ripped your hair out from the follicle from your scalp because it was tied on so tight. And if you hadn't done that, you would still have that one hair today. And don't get me wrong, I love a slicked back look. It does look very sleek, very elegant, very demure, very mindful and gorgeous, but there are ways to do it in use of products that make it look more snatched and tight than actually tying the ponytail tight, 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 tight to the point where it pulls your eyebrows back. You could do that with makeup. You could do that with hair products and make it look sleek like that. The actual hair tie doesn't need to be tight to that point, if that makes sense. And I can have another separate video showing how I do mine and what products I use. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. And also, I'd like to say, if you haven't already, please subscribe and like this video. If you're worried about being bored during the process of growing your hair out, there is a way around that. And some of the girlies like their hair lighter in the summer, darker in the fall, that kind of thing. So I will tell you exactly how to do that in the next blow drying clip. Okay, as you can see, that was in real time. It really doesn't take that long because your hair is mostly going to be dry anyway. And it took out a lot of the frizz. So compared to this side is a lot more voluminous and thick looking because it's honestly just frizzy. But that's what this side looks like. And then this one's like this. So we're mostly just using the blow dryer not to, fully straighten or dry your hair, but just smooth it out a little bit and not be so frizzy. And as you saw, I usually point the end. I use this tip first of all on the blow dryer. This blow dryer I'll link down below. It's not a Dyson, actually. I like it more than my Dyson, if I'm honest. But yeah, I use this tip and point the air downwards as I'm blow drying to help smooth it out. Because if you're going like this and making your hair all crazy, that's not gonna help your cause. So blow dry downwards, and it might feel a little like, not the smoothest towards the end, but that's okay. Next. Okay, so as promised, the tips for making your hair more dimensional, more light in the summer and darker in the fall is the use of either eye tips, sewn in, tape in extensions, something to just add a little bit of dimension so you can mix it up a little bit. When my hair was shorter, there was actually extensions available that were close in length to my hair. So I used to do this when I would get bored and feel that urge to dye or bleach my hair. It really took the edge off, honestly. So what you can do is just order them from wherever you're going to order them from and take care of them so you can use them multiple times. Don't let them get ratty. Avoid swimming with them. And the biggest thing to actually keep the length of the hair extensions as they are is when you're getting your hair cut, yes, they will have to trim a little bit of especially the front layers, they'll have to trim so that it blends with your hair. But when they're taking them out, make sure they have them set aside, or if you're doing it yourself, make sure you have it set aside. This goes on the left front side of your face, this goes on the right front side of your face, so that you don't have to keep recutting. For example, if you don't do that, you take them all out, you put them back in, and some of the pieces that were in the back that were longer are now in the front. You will have to recut them and they will get shorter. You don't want to do that. So just keep them set aside, be organized when you're taking them out so that when you put them back in, it's kind of the place where it needs to be and kind of the cut that it needs to be. So you don't have to keep shortening your extensions and buying new ones. Once my hair was actually past that 18 inches, 20 inches point of being able to get hair extensions that would look okay with the length of my hair, once I outgrew that, I switched it up by asking for something a little bit different, but not too different. every time I would get my hair cut. For example, sometimes I would get like, I have now a U shape, long layered haircut, or I would switch it up to something that was more blunt at the ends that would give me kind of a different vibe, or something that was more like a V. But every time I get my hair cut, I just wouldn't let her cut that top layer too short unless I felt like my hair was really heavy. So just changing the end shape of your hair does give you a different vibe, and when you style it, it'll lay a little bit differently. And something else that I did too occasionally was just get very thin bangs that would eventually grow out into curtain bangs. That also was a way that I could let the lengths grow but have a different frame for my face in the front, and that was fun. So finish blow drying the top, and then you have a few options from there. You can either leave it straight, you can use like these, where are they? These heatless rods at that point and kind of make a blowout look, or if you're in a rush, you can use like a 2-inch curling iron. Okay. I just clip the back. Okay, and then the back that we already did is clipped here, and I have these two sections at the front. Sometimes I'll get it like another clip and like clip this part out of the way, or I can just use one of these little purple ones I had before. See if that'll stay. So something else that I really want to touch on is scalp health. Scalp health is huge to promote hair growth. You basically need to make a healthy environment so that your hair will want to grow. If it's covered with a bunch of oil, dry shampoo, hasn't been washed for 5 days, this may be an unpopular opinion, but having like a clean, healthy scalp will definitely promote hair growth. And I don't mean wash your hair every single day. I maybe wash my hair every 3 days, and I really try to minimize the use of dry shampoo. If I do need it, because my hair is so dark and black, it looks shinier than usual than when my hair was blonde quicker. So I'll just use the dry shampoo not directly on my part, but the hair maybe half an inch away from my part and downwards, just to take away some of that shine. But I never put the dry shampoo directly on my scalp. And I only maybe use that for just 1 day, and then I'll wash it so that my scalp can breathe. I use Nioxin, as I mentioned. There's a few different kinds. You'll have to get the kind that's best for you. There's one that's for, I always get the actively thinning one. Actively thinning and chemically treated or natural hair. I'm using a mix of both again because I'm trying to use one of them up. But get the one that's for you. And there is also a scalp treatment that you can leave on. I've tried that before. It makes my scalp itchy, so I just skip that step, but I do find that using the shampoo and the conditioner really help. Some people do find a lot of success with using the Nioxin scalp treatment or minoxidil, aka Rogaine, on their scalp. For me, they made my scalp extremely dry, extremely itchy, and they just weren't for me. You could try it, see if it's right for you. And I will say, if you are noticing that your hair is very sparse at the top, like if you look at your scalp part and you notice that there aren't very many follicles like per inch of scalp, that could be a few things. That could be genetic. In the front of your hair is naturally going to be less dense than it is in the back. Or if you're noticing a significant change, it could be hormones, it could be stress, there could be lots of underlying factors. When I switch from one birth control to another, or if I stop my birth control, I notice that I will get some hair fall until my hormones even out. So with that being said, this is just a hair maintenance video. If you do have underlying problems like that, you need to, figure out what those are and solve the root of that problem. Please let me know in the comments below, and let all the girlies and the gays know in the comments below if there are any hair tips that I haven't mentioned in this video so far that you find helpful. Hairful is hilarious. That you find helpful, or if you have a different hair type than me and you have some hair growth tips, please share. We all want to look fabulous. We all want to look hot and voluptuous. I personally do not take any supplements, any extra kind of hair growth promoting vitamins or anything like that. I'll take one multivitamin and 2 fish oils at dinner time once a day with food. And I find that that's enough for me. I have tried taking biotin for months at a time in the past, and I have taken prenatal vitamins, but yeah, just multivitamins for me. I think the biggest tip, if anything, if you only take one tip away from this video, is to use that scalp brush. The scalp brush, you can get it on Amazon, honestly, from the dollar store. It's so good. I swear to God, that's the reason why my hair has grown so much, or one of the main reasons why, is just getting that dead skin off of your scalp. It's amazing. So that's what we have. It's not perfect, but it's a lot smoother than it was, and it used a lot less heat than it would have if I just would have blown dried it from when I got out of the shower to this point. The main reason why I started just letting my hair air dry naturally for as long as I could until I needed to smooth it out is just because, honestly, like, I was lazy to stand there and, you know, blow dry all of this hair with the blow dryer. My little tiny shoulder would get sore, if I'm being honest. But now from here you have 2 options. What I'm gonna do is do the overnight curler things, and I'll show you how I do them. I sleep on my side, so I know you're supposed to like part your hair in 2, or from the videos that I've seen, you're supposed to part your hair in 2 and make it really tight and high up. But I don't like how it looks when I take it down. I always have like some weird kink in the back. So what I'll do is kind of like, your part doesn't have to be like perfect in the back. And honestly, it's probably better if it isn't, so it's not as detectable once you take your hair out. I split my hair in 2 like this. Take one of them, and starting from the bottom, kind of smooth it out in the back. And I'll take this and put it around here, and with the bottom part. This may not be how you're supposed to do it. This is just how I've been doing it. Kind of like wrap it and roll it up. And if you do have layers, you'll have to like kind of tuck them in as you go. And then just keep rolling, rolling. And at about here is where I do it up. It's like a little like hook, and I let it stay like that. And I know that looks crazy, and I know that's probably not how you've seen in other people's videos, but that's how I like to do it. And I usually do it, where's the other one? I usually have it like this, and then I roll it towards my face. And I make sure it's not all twisted in there like that. I have it like flat against the squishy thing. Okay. And you can like pull it down if you need to make it like tighter. And then around here is where I bunch it up. And if you feel like it's pulling in a certain area, or just one of your hairs is getting pulled really bad at the back, you'll have to just, you know, take it out and redo it. It's fine. It's better to do that than like try and sleep with them in. That way you're not gonna have a good sleep. Okay, so I sleep on my side, as I said. So sometimes what I'll do is wear a nightcap, like a big satin nightcap over top, so it kind of holds them like this, and I can have a nice restful sleep. This one, honestly, for me to sleep in is a little bit too tight for my liking, so towards when I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna probably just do it down one, if that makes sense. I'll show you. So I'll just like undo it and put it down just a little bit, and struggle to do it back up. There. It's super loose, looks crazy and ridiculous, but it's comfortable, and I'm the queen of comfort. If anything's not comfortable, I won't do it, honestly. I would just put the heat on my hair instead, but that's a no. When I take my hair out in the morning, I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll show you just how to touch up a few pieces if needed, or at the top sometimes if you have like a little cowlick like I do or anything, you might have to just go over just that one area with a flat iron. Again, just trying to keep the heat very minimal. Okay, I'm back, and I know I am looking saggy and insane, but just trust the process. Tomorrow morning, it's gonna look good, trust me. So I brought a few things. They're not even actually shower caps. They are like bonnets. They don't have like a waterproof lining on the inside. I think I got them from Temu for like literally $1, but I have two. We're gonna use the pink one today. I also brought these clips, and instead of using those like big purple clips that aren't going to be comfortable to sleep on, I don't find that these bother me. Again, just to keep my cowlick down that wants to pop up. So just put them on there like that, and sometimes in the morning it will make just the tiniest kink, so I'll go over just that one area with a flat iron, again in keeping with the theme of trying to put as little heat on your hair as possible. There may be some touch-ups you have to do. So I just throw these in there. So, no. Tuck everything in. And I will sleep like that. And when I sleep on my side, it's not so bad. Okay. When I'm cooking, sometimes I wear this just because I really don't like the smell of how food sticks on your hair when you're cooking, especially if you're cooking Filipino food. You know, all the flavors sometimes are pungent. Okay, so it looks like this. I'm fully like exposing myself right now. I'm just happy I'm in a long-term relationship happily, and he doesn't care if I'm like, morning babe, whatever. Okay, I'll see you in the morning. Okay, good morning, beautiful. So it's the next day. I'm gonna take this thing off, and I already know it's gonna look a little crazy. Bear with me. It's gonna look like it's like falling out, and if you have hair that's shorter than mine, lots of your layers will probably be sticking out. So this is what we have. You just have to find the clasp and take it out. And I don't really brush through it just yet, or comb my fingers through it, I should say. So that's like the weird kink that I was talking about. The reason why I don't go up a lot higher with that is because that would be like here. And I find that if it's down here, I can kind of like go over it and fix it if I feel the need to a little bit better. So this is the hairspray that I like, the Moroccan Oil Extra Hold Hairspray. And I just kind of spread out the curls, and especially towards the end with longer hair, because your hair is so heavy, the curls will want to fall. Okay, now that we have some kind of hairspray in there, we can shake it out just a little bit more. If you just wanted a heatless vibe, if you were gonna tie your hair up or something, this isn't the worst. Like, I'll show you. Or if you were gonna put it in like a clip, it still looks cute, and it has like some kind of texture, you know? So I'll let that live as it lays for a while, and then we'll fix the top later. Taking my 2-inch curling iron, I have it set to 380. I'll take the shorter sections, and the only part where I'm putting the heat on is just the shorter sections and layers of my hair. I never put the heat directly on the lengths of it, just because these are layers anyways. If they have to trim them or cut them shorter, I'm not going to be sad about it. But if this end part has lots of like heat damage and stuff, they're going to have to cut more every time. That's just my rationale. Whether or not it's actually a thing, I don't know. But that's what I do. So starting here, I kind of just grab small, kind of thin sections, but not too thin, enough so it gets some heat. Hold it on there and release. And I kind of hold it just for a second so it can dry. And there you go. So it kind of looks like a blowout E, kind of bigger, more glamorous looking wave. And then I'll just throw that hair to the back. And this section, same thing. And I'm not leaving it on there for very long. And then this very front piece, I always do it away from the face. For the pieces that are closer to my face, I do start a little bit higher up, as opposed to these ones, I more just want like the end to have some texture. So this one, just be very careful, obviously, because it's hot. Try to do it up like that. And don't leave it for so long. Okay. That's a little too curly for me, so. There. So that's one side. And if you want to do like one piece here, you can. I'm fine with just leaving it like that. And again, because my hair is longer and heavier, these curls will fall fairly quickly. So before I run my fingers through them, I will hairspray them, but I'm going to let them cool just like that while I do the other side. Same thing on the other side. I find that the left side of my hair is so much easier to do than the right side, because I'm right-handed maybe, or just the way that I hold it. I have no idea, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Most of these ones were curled towards the front. Some of these are going to be curled towards the back. As long as the end just has like a bit of bounce, because they're such loose curls, it really doesn't affect the overall look, in my opinion. Ooh. Oh my God, don't burn yourself, that's for sure. And I try to leave the ends out. I don't like the ends to be super curly. I like it to be like an undone, blowout-y, kind of like sexy, beachy-ish hair. Maybe not beachy, but. So this is what we have. If you do need to touch some pieces up, you can. I'm gonna hairspray it and then kind of let it do its thing. I'll show you. All right, loves, that's it for my hair routine. I hope this gave you some inspo and a little boost for your own hair journey. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you don't miss any future videos. If you want to check any of the products I mentioned, I've linked everything down below. Please let me know in the comments what your holy grail hair products are. I'm always looking to try some new stuff. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.